Yo, what up, guys? Good morning. Um, it's another blessed day. Well, for the on this today is Friday. So yeah, to give a thought on how far I've gone this week. On this week, I've not taken any trade on my Joint 5K account. Apart from this BTC that I entered yesterday, I entered the trade as at here after I got my confirmation from here on 4 hours time frame. So I entered my sell here, and I had this spike that I even thought it was going to take me out. Unfortunately, it didn't, or probably it might still come back because of what we're having here. But here's the issue on this setup. But I've always been bullish on BCC for a while now, and we actually had this. They actually traded this last week. This was on no, I didn't take a trade last week on BTC. It was only this one I think we took. So only this one we took and we closed at 2 half, which was at around here. So this one here was just I took this one, I closed at 1 half, but not on my 25K account because it was on Friday. So and I know FundingPips is not going to allow me. They are going to allow me to hold over the weekend, but they are going to pause the account. So you get like it's not like I can close or break even the trade if after it's going to hit SA during the weekend. So that was why I didn't bother to take the trade on this my on the 100 on the 25K account. So it was a great setup, so the great setup, which I eventually closed at 1 half on some accounts. And yeah, that's 1 half on some accounts here. So I didn't take this, and likewise, this was just me studying. I didn't take this too. So this is my first trade for this week, which I took yesterday. So over the time, PCC has been moving impulsive. But one thing is, anytime when it comes to this sales always tends to be impulsive. This sales always tends to be impulsive. It's only this time that this buy tends to be exhaustion. You can see all this exhaustion, all this exhaustion. So right here, I actually waited even when I got this here. I didn't still jump on it. I actually had to wait to take my time to see how this is actually going to turn out. It was actually going to turn out. So which it eventually did this, and so on 4 hours, all these things are a bunch of mitigated supplies. So this is the only 4 hours on point of interest that has not been mitigated. So which means if at all BTC is bearish, if at all BTC is bearish, then this zone has to be respected. But the moment this zone gets violated, then it means that we are going to be bullish. That is, all this high has to be taken out. So that's my projection on BTC until I got my confirmation from this sell here, point of interest. And it's so surprising that the market is actually buying from here. But I think it makes sense on the 4 hours. Maybe look at this on the 4 hours. It actually makes sense on the 4 hours. It actually makes sense on the 4 hours that BTC is actually buying from here on the 4 hours. So I feel like this is already an hell setup. This is already an hell setup at the moment, but it is what it is. You just have to hold the SL. Look at this, all this exhaustion. Look at this expansion, and look at the exhaustion of the cell. So in which I actually got a fake out right from here, thinking that okay, yeah, we are good to go. We are good to go. And as you might think, you actually spend more than 12 hours in this range because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 4. That's about 24. That's about 20 hours because I took this trade around 1 p.m. yesterday. So I was not. I was feeling lazy to put on my system. That was why I didn't record that yesterday. I was not with my sister at the moment, but then when I was opportunity to be with my sister, I was really lazy to carry the system because this was obviously my only trade for this week. So and also where I actually got my confirmation from that we're actually ready to buy on BTC is the fact that gold has been impulsively bullish, and based on correlation, I feel like gold really has a lot to do with how BTC is really moving crazy at the moment now. And also, it's very amazing that I actually got a very nice setup on US oil. I think that should be on Tuesday. That should be on Tuesday, but because it is a scalp, so I cannot execute it on this 25K account. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. This week, this week, I wanted to take this sell, this US oil sell. I saw the mitigation on this breaker block here. I saw the mitigation of this breaker block here, which I was very much interested in. And seeing this close here, I was even thinking, me and my guys were even thinking that it's going to buy from here. But like I said, I know US oil is a clear that when it's ready to move, it just moves possibly. All this mitigation that it keeps doing here is not its nature. It's not its kind of price action. So, but here is the fact that when it actually closed here and it was doing impossible thing, I felt like it can still probably buy from this zone. Probably buy from this zone. So you get I was thinking that I can still probably buy from this zone. So until I got a close on lower time frame. that, okay, this zone is going to be taken out. And for the fact that this demand zone is taken out, then that means I am cool for my, like, I am good to go for my setup. You can see that even this zone here is not on this line, not on this line. So I waited for you to close, which I actually had before here. But do you know the amazing part is initially this trade here, this move happened on the 4 hours. No, this move is just a 1 hour candle. This move is just a 1 hour candle. I can tell you categorically that from this point to this point here, this point to this point here was practically, let me just say, 40 minutes. This move to this move was practically 40 minutes. While from this point here down to this point is like 15 to 20 minutes move. It's really crazy in terms of the moment I because I mostly use limit order. No, sorry, because I mostly make use of market execution. So the moment I did my analysis here, going to my MT5 to calculate my loss or my lot size or my stop loss. No, not even about the stop loss. My lot size to use, honestly speaking, like in less than 2 minutes, and it's gapped like up to this point here, very point here. Obviously, this rate is supposed to be 1 to 3. If it gapped to this point here, I cannot obviously take it again because that was more like 2 half. And before you know it, that was how I missed this sweet setup on US oil. It's really painful. And that was how I actually lose this setup on US oil. So I waited, it did this. Obviously, if I've taken this trade, I will have closed at here. I will have definitely closed at 4 half. This line was just an order block that I was targeting. But then I would have definitely closed this trade at least 1 to 3 half. So I actually got this, but this is a lower time frame entry. This is a lower time frame entry. So it's supposed to be a scalp. So I don't trust it enough to execute it on my 25K account, which that these two will have been my winning trades for this week because this did 3 half and this did 3 half. But then I am not on these two trades as regards to this 25K account. I'm not on this trade as regards to all my accounts. And likewise, I'm not on this trade as regards to my 25K account. So this is really painful. It is really painful trading wise. Trading wise, because just like I mentioned last week, why is it that we tend to take a losing setup and we tend to leave a winning setup? So yeah. So like I said, I assume that I assume to take my hell on BTC. So on this JP, I believe this PA is bullish now. Is bullish now, thinking considering all these things we have here. So this is actually going to be a good entry. It's actually going to be a good entry for me. Just since I've gotten all this confirmation here, I've gotten a sweep of this. I've gotten a sweep of this. So I feel like this is going to be a good setup. Let me see what my BCC is currently running now. Maybe I can possibly close my BCC at 0.5 half SL. Yeah. If I'm able to close it as at here, that's going to be at 0.5 SL. And why I can take this GP. This is far more than 0.5 actually. Looking at it now, considering the pips count on the what's it called commission that I've paid on this trade, this is more than 0.5 already. Okay, this is still more like 0.5, still more like that. So let me assume that I'll close this trade here. I'll close this trade here. Why I'm going to take an entry on this JP. Today is what's it called? So I think I can easily target here, and this is going to be a very good trade to take because of this confirmation. I've been watching this one here. I missed this trade last week. Was it last week? Was it this week or last week? I didn't take this trade obviously. So and I think this is going to be a very good setup to take. So I'll be risking on this. I'm going to look into my MT5 now. I'll risk on this. Why? This is a losing setup for me. This is a losing setup for me. But in order to manage to do things right, I'm closing this at 0.5 half. I'm closing this at 0.5 half. Why? I'll be risking the same 0.5 half on this trade. So let me just risk 1 half on this trade. Let me risk 1 half on this trade because I have a good feeling that this is a winning setup for me. But today honestly has what's it called? News today. We actually have a news today, but then let's say it goes. I think I can find myself to be here. I can find myself to be here. I can find myself to be here. So that's all for now. I'll be together as it goes. Yo, what up, guys? Good morning. So, so to give update about my trade for the week. Today is Saturday, by the way. So just like I updated yesterday, I actually had a one setup on this. I think we picked this setup together yesterday. So after seeing the 4 hours close, because I was obviously bullish on this pair, and I'm actually looking forward to as much as possible to actually make all this process because of on daily time frame, we're actually coming from a very strong resistance ton support. See, resistance ton support here, right here. So we actually had a good push. So at first, I definitely knew that these are testing this trend line because obviously, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Obviously, the trend line is not as strong as that. So I waited for my confirmation, which we both saw the entry together yesterday. Though I missed the first logical entry. I missed this entry here. I missed this entry here. I could not take it because I was obviously looking for it was just giving me 2.4 hours. So I don't want to risk. I just want to take a quality setup. So it was actually sketchy, but it is a good setup. So we actually got this together, just like you are aware. So I took this trade and actually did 1 hour before it started reversing back. But no, the trick here is that I closed my BTC at minus 0.5 hour. I closed BTC at minus 0.5 hour. So and just like I said, I risked the remaining 0.5 hour on this trade because most times when I enter a position, I happens to be the institutional move. That is, I go in line with the institutional move, not the retail move. Retail move is when you later have a retest and it now eventually goes your way. But me, I enter the market before you probably see your own break of structures, all those kind of stuff. So now, just as you are aware, we took the entry right here and it actually pushed 1 hour before reversing back. But looking at the move on 1 hour, looking at the move on 1 hour, I saw that, oh yeah, this was strictly the NFP. So seeing the move, I was on how, and I strongly believe that okay, if I got the opportunity for market to reverse back, to retrace back a bit, then I want to add my second entry. Second entry in which I'm going to be risking 0.5 half to make it a total of 1 half. That was my projection as regards to this trade. So I actually had the opportunity last night around to 9. I think I took the entry around 8:30. Yeah, around 8:30 to 9. So I will have wait for market opening, and this is actually a very hard decision because when market open, I strongly believe in my analysis that it is going to buy. But then the reality part is when market opens, it can easily just gap up. So which means I cannot be able to really enter my half risk. But at the end of the day, trading it has a lot to do with probability. So when I actually got my the entry right here because I was waiting for this zone here to be respected because obviously it was this zone that actually broke this structure. Actually broke this structure. So I was actually waiting for a good push. And seeing the good push around 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock 9, I was convinced that okay, yeah, I think I can execute the trade in which I took the trade. So that's that about so which means for this week I only executed a trade on BTC and on this JP. BTC I lost 0.5 out to it, while I'm currently risking 1 half on this. Why I'm currently risking 1% on this trade. This was 0.5%, this was 0.5%. So at the end of the day, they should probably sum up to like 3.5%, if at all. It goes my way because this is 3.5 half and this is 3.4 half. So let's see how it goes. So now to give update about this BTC. So thank God I was able to close at 0.5 half percent loss yesterday because obviously, this was what eventually happened. I got taken out because I could see it from the move. I actually understand BTC movements quite a bit, or sorry, quite much as compared to my other peers. So I was able to get out here, which I've already attached the picture. So I actually had this confirmation to this morning on BTC, but I'm actually taking this on my personal account. Actually taking this on my personal account. It's more clear on 4H. It's more clear on 4H. So markets mitigated this other block here that actually caused this big push. And this zone here actually mitigated this zone. This one actually mitigated this zone. So even to be how will I even put it? If I want to be more risk, if I want to maximize my half, I would have put my SL to be here. My SL to be here. But then all in all, let's see how it goes. So this is not a trade for me to give an update on. This is not a trade for me to give an update on. So when market opens, if I actually have the opportunity to if I actually have the opportunity, I want to take a sell on this US oil. Just like I explained, we got the sell, we got the buy, which I was unable to execute any. I was able to execute any, but this is actually a very good setup. This is actually a very good setup. But because of correlation, I'm already on this JP already. So there's no reason for me to take this US oil because of correlation. So that was why I didn't even execute this trade. But I know this is actually a very good setup for me. It's actually a very good setup for me. I believe that when market opens, I want to see selling because BTC and US oil is one pair that I really, really understand them as compared to other players I trade, which I actually look forward to utilizing over the period, over a long while now, because you might not actually see me trading GU. I'm still going to have it on my watch list, but you might not actually see me trading GU is in a long while now because of what GU has actually done to my accounts, not even on this 25K account, on all my accounts, because of okay, now currently now I'm like, let me say I'm like 5.5% drawdown, yeah, or like 5.5% drawdown, and I can tell you categorically that GU contributed about minus 4.5% loss for me. So the other loss I had in other pairs, BTC was able to cover them like gold, but GU the loss was so significant. So that's all as regards to this week. So a recap, I only take to trade this week a BCC, a BCC sell which ended at 0.5 hard loss and currently on my JP. So I still believe I can pass this account. I still strongly believe in me passing this account. This is just a phase. This is really, really hard for me. But one thing about trading is there are going to be ups and downs. There are going to be ups and downs. Just like trading most times when you keep developing yourself, trading tends to be something like this. Because one way or the other, you surely tends to break your all-time high. But it's just that the fact is the fact is just like you say, the fact is when you're making your higher low, I hope you don't break your last lower low. And these things happens too in terms of our progress. It tends to make our higher low, it tends to break our former higher low. And you see something as this, you see something as this. So sometimes you almost hit the rock bottom. So I feel like this the rock bottom is something as this. So which means all these are just all these sometimes can be luck. And sometimes, no, let me say it, sometimes all this can be a little bit of when life is actually not going your way. Things are hard, price action is messy, just like how this price action has been messy. And before you know it, you go back to your drawing board and you figure it out, and you can actually bounce back from here, which means when you're almost at your rock bottom. I've been there a couple of times, almost at my rock bottom, and actually bounce back. So, and you want to see something as this again, and because you hit your all-time high again. This phase actually happens to all profitable traders. Name them, they might actually go through this phase, and which I believe I want to use this to actually console myself to that. Yeah, yeah, this is just a phase. So that's all for this week. That's all for this week. Next week, so this week ended at loss also, but next week, we hope the story is going to change. We actually hope for a good story. Thank you guys.